After a fiery debate in the parliament, the Waqf Board Amendment Act was recently passed in the parliament. And one of our member of parliament, Kiran Rijiju, he was the one who moved this private member bill, where it was decided by the member of parliament that the land belonging to the Waqf Board, which belongs to the Muslims, has to go through some amendments where non-Muslims and a proper registration of all that land and women member has to be part of the board.
Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The bill is passed.
The way it was projected in media was that Waqf Board has the most land in the entire India. But that is not true. The Indian Catholics, they have maybe 20 times more land than the Waqf Board committee. What was the reason for the Waqf Board committee to be initiated? Muslims in any country have a committee where people from their particular religion donate land to build mosque, to build madarsa, or to build Muslim cemeteries. And in India, it is even more important for Muslim to have a Waqf Board, because Muslims, they don't get land easily to build their house or to rent a place. And that is why the significance of Waqf Board in India is even more important than in other countries. Okay, and many Muslims leaders, businessmen, or rulers have donated land to the Waqf Board, and it is said that around 10,000 acres of land belongs to the Waqf Board under different registration in different part of India. This is not a political channel, so we are not going to talk about what is right or what is wrong, or whether this law should have been passed or not. But soon after this law was passed, the next day on the RSS English newspaper, the organizer, they put an article saying that we are done with the Muslims now. Now is the time to focus on the land that belongs to Christian. And this is what I want to talk about. According to the article, it is said that 15,000 square kilometer, belongs to the Catholic Church, which is 20 times more than the land which the Waqf Board has, for which the policy was passed recently in the parliament. Having said that, one of the arguments that has been put on the Waqf Board is that most of the land is just lying without any activity taking place on that particular land, and most of the lands are in a very prime place which can be developed for the country, or could be used by this to build a school or something important. Whereas if you see the land which is owned by the Catholics, that is not the case. Most of the land is being used. Catholics, they themselves run around 1,300 homes, and especially for aged people and handicapped, they have 750 hospitals across India. And if you go to their website, it says that 40 lakhs children graduate every year in their primary school, and 40 lakhs in their secondary school. I don't think there is any organization in India who does service in the field of education and medical like the Catholic does. The Waqf Board amendment has been going on for a very long time in the parliament. And when the law was passed, in spite of BJP not having the majority in the parliament, people like Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar, who have been calling themselves as a secular party, supporting this bill, now it feels like the RSS next target is going to be the Catholic Church of India. And on the social media, many people are now talking about the land which is being held by the Catholics in India. While this amendment was being discussed in the parliament, many Christian churches came in support of the Muslims, knowing very well that if at all this bill is passed, next would be the land and properties of the Christians that are going to be taken. This is what surprised me, and this is what I want to talk about. Kiran Rijiju, when he was talking in the parliament, he took a paper and then he claimed that I have the support of the Catholic Church of Kerala. He said that the Catholic Bishop Conference actually supported the Waqf Board amendment. I was surprised, because how do you support a Waqf Board amendment when you yourself has 20 times land, 20 times more land than the Waqf Board has? And some of the Muslims who were actually looking at the Christians for some kind of support, because we ourselves being minority, felt that we were backstabbed. I went on to do some online investigation, and I found out that there is a place, Munambam, in Kerala, where the Waqf Board has taken the land belonging to the Christian family into the Waqf Board. And the Christian families have been staying there for 30-35 years. And when the Waqf Board claimed those land, It went to the court, and because it's a religious matter on one side and then there is a Christian family involved on the other side, the court was not able to decide. And this case for 5 to 10 years dragged down. Those families were asked to leave the home, and then there was a fight between the Christians and the Muslims in this place known as Munambam. Now the Catholic Bishop Conference in Munambam, taking this issue, this local issue into consideration, wrote a letter to Kiran Rijuji telling that Waqf Board has to be passed on so that this Christians family which are there in Munambam, whose land has been taken by the Board, is returned back to the Christian community, and people again get their house back.
They who have bought the land some 30, 35, 36 years back, 218 families bought the land. And for the last 35 years, with all the records, with all the documents, with all the tax, everything, given they were, they had the title of it. And for the last 3 years, they are no more able to exercise their revenue rights. And they are suffering a lot. 610 families are suffering just because of the claim made by the Waqf Board based on the Waqf Act.
But this letter, though it was about a local matter, was publicly displayed in the parliament, and Kiran Rijuji claimed that the Christians, the Catholics, have openly supported the Waqf Board Amendment Act. Now this entire thing is a big confusion. Obviously, the Christians are not supporting the Waqf Board amendments. We are not, because we know that once they obviously they'll come for the Muslims first, and then they'll come for the Christians, and then it will keep going on. A local issue has been portrayed in a way that the entire Christian population in India wants the Waqf Board amendment to be passed, and which is not. Many of the Catholics in New Delhi and even from Trivandrum and in Hyderabad and Bangalore, they came out giving a vocal support, saying that no, we are against the Waqf Board amendment to be passed in the parliament. So now, if you see the news, there are two things to be understood. One, a local issue between the Muslims and some Christian families in the place as Munambar, where the Waqf Board has taken some land belonging to the Christian family, and the bishop writing letter to Kiran Rijuji for the support has been made into a national issue, talking like the entire Catholic community was against the Waqf Board, which was wrong. Kiran Rijuji, being a politician, he utilized this opportunity of a letter. I know he knew the intent, but then he has to make a point in the parliament, and he made the point very strongly, saying that we have the support of the Catholics. Number two, can you tell me any other organization or any other committee who has done more work in India for education or for medical more than the Catholics have done? I don't think so. I just want to quote one Bible verse before we end this video. I'm going to read Proverbs 31 verse 8 and 9. Open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute. Open your mouth, judge righteously, defend the rights of the poor and the needy. I think we Christians have been quiet for a very long time, seeing the suffering of others. A lot of Christian pastors I know are in jail in Uttar Pradesh, in MP, and in different states which are governed by the current ruling party. And we Christians have been quiet. I don't see any outrage on social media. We are very busy to talk about somebody who has been blamed for committing some sin which has not been proven. I'm talking about John Jabaraj. Every Christian is talking about John Jabaraj. Hey, he did this, he did not do this. There are two sides fighting with each other. And we fail to speak for people who are in need, who are destitute, and who are not judged righteously. We fail to speak up for our Muslim brothers. We fail to speak for our own Christian brothers who have been prosecuted, put in jail, case put against them, their property being snatched, their name being spoiled. We got to stand up for each other. And as the Bible says, if somebody is being harassed, if somebody is being put down, if somebody is being treated unfairly, we got to speak for them. And may God open our eyes so that we see that the value of life is not what we have collected for ourselves, but what we have done for others. It's 2 o'clock in the night. I got to sleep. I'll see you again in another video. Bye.